Hello friends, welcome to my channel Helping Hand for Nurses. In this video, I am dealing with the topic minerals from the subject nutrition and biochemistry. I have included some important points that is usually asked in the nursing exams at the end of the video. So please watch the video, and if you like this video, like and subscribe it. So let us start the video. Nutrients are mainly divided into macronutrients and micronutrients. Macronutrients includes carbohydrate, proteins and fat. Micronutrients include vitamins and minerals. Vitamins and minerals are essential nutrients that our body needs in small amounts to work properly. Vitamins is again divided into fat-soluble vitamins and water-soluble vitamins. And minerals are again divided into macrominerals and microminerals. So we can see minerals in detail. So minerals are the elements that are necessary for different types of physiological functions and many of the biochemical processes. Minerals are mainly divided into macrominerals and microminerals. Macrominerals is also known as essential minerals or major minerals. So macrominerals are those minerals which are required more than 100 milligram per day. And it includes calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium and sulfur. So macrominerals are also known as major minerals which are required more than 100 milligram per day. And it includes calcium, chloride, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, sodium and sulfur. Microminerals are also known as trace minerals, and these minerals are required less than 100 milligram per day. So macrominerals are the minerals that are required more than 100 gram per day, and microminerals are those minerals that is required less than 100 milligram per day. And microminerals includes cobalt, copper, chromium, iodine, iron, manganese, molybdenum, selenium and also zinc. So these are the microminerals. First we can deal with the macrominerals, and the first one is the calcium. Calcium is the most abundant mineral in the human body and is a main component of bone and teeth. It is taken in the diet in the form of calcium phosphate and calcium carbonate. So calcium, it is usually taken in the diet in the form of calcium phosphate and calcium carbonate. Most of the calcium are deposited in bones and teeth in the form of hydroxyapatite. And the calcium level in the blood is regulated by parathyroid hormone and calcitonin. So parathyroid hormone increases the calcium level, while calcitonin decreases the calcium level in the blood. And the rich sources of calcium are milk and milk products, ragi, fish and dried fruits. Next is the functions of calcium. Calcium is essential for growth and structural integrity of the bones and teeth, and it has an important role in nerve conduction, and it helps in muscle contraction, relaxation, and it helps in blood coagulation, that is conversion of prothrombin to thrombin is occurred in the presence of the calcium. And the deficiency of calcium can lead to osteoporosis and osteopenia, dental problems, muscle cramps and muscle spasms, rickets and tetany. And the daily requirement of calcium is 500 milligram per day. Next macromineral is phosphorus. So phosphorus, it is a major component of bones and it is used for energy production. And it is deposited in bones and teeth as calcium phosphate. So phosphorus gets deposited in bones and teeth as calcium phosphate. And the functions of phosphorus includes, it is essential for the metabolism and also for the bone development, and it helps in the formation of nucleic acids and phospholipids, and is involved in most of the biochemical reactions in the body. And the main sources of phosphorus includes dairy products, red meat, poultry, seafood, legumes and nuts. And the deficiency of phosphorus can lead to poor appetite, muscle weakness, bone disease which includes osteomalacia and rickets, increased susceptibility to infections. And the recommended dietary requirement of phosphorus is 500 to 700 milligram per day. Next macromineral is sodium. Sodium, it is a chief cation in the extracellular compartment. So chief cation in the extracellular compartment is sodium. Main functions of sodium includes it is essential for nerve impulse conduction, muscle contraction, fluid balance and acid-base balance. Common salt is the cheapest, best and most widely available source of sodium. 3 gram salt is roughly equivalent to 1.2 gram of sodium. 3 gram salt is equivalent to 1.2 gram of sodium. And it is also present in some food additives like monosodium glutamate, which is usually used in Chinese cuisine. And the natural foods like meat, milk, eggs, vegetables and fruits all contain sodium. And salt is added to almost all processed foods, thereby increasing their sodium content. And the daily dietary requirement of sodium is 5 to 15 gram per day. Next macromineral is potassium. So it is a chief cation in the intracellular compartment and it is necessary for the release of the insulin from the pancreatic cells in response to high blood glucose. It is essential for nerve impulse conduction, fluid balance and for normal heart function. And the sources of potassium includes fruits and vegetables, leafy greens, beans, nuts, dairy foods, starchy vegetables, dried fruits, then bananas and yogurt. And the recommended daily requirement of potassium is 5 to 10 gram per day. Next macromineral is magnesium. It is essential for nerve impulse conduction, muscle contraction and relaxation and also for enzyme activation. It is required for DNA replication, transcription and translocation. And the sources of magnesium includes plant fruits like legumes, dark green leafy vegetables, seeds, whole grains and fortified cereals, soybeans, brown rice, milk, yogurt, raisins and banana. Daily requirement of magnesium is 400 to 420 milligram for men and 310 to 320 milligram for women. So next we can deal with microminerals and the first one is iron. So iron, it is essential for the production of hemoglobin in RBCs and myoglobin in skeletal muscle and enzymes that participate in metabolism. So iron is essential for the production of hemoglobin and myoglobin and also for the enzymes which participate in metabolism. And the daily requirement of iron is 15 to 20 milligram. And the sources of iron can be divided into two main groups, that is the heme iron sources and non-heme iron sources. So heme iron sources mainly includes the animal foods like meat, poultry and seafood, and non-heme iron source includes the plant foods which includes whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes and green leafy vegetables. And the iron is stored in body as ferritin and is delivered throughout the body in the form of transferrin. Next micromineral is iodine. It is an essential trace element because it is an integral component of the thyroid hormones. It promotes normal function of the thyroid gland. And the main source includes seaweed, fish, shellfish, table salts, eggs, beef liver. And the daily requirement of iodine is 120 to 140 microgram per day. Fortification of salt with iodine is carried out to reduce the iodine deficiency disorder. The PFA Act, that is the Prevention of Food Adulteration Act 1954, has specified an iodine concentration of 30 parts per million and 15 parts per million in salt at source and consumer ends respectively. And thereby it is providing 150 milligram of iodine in 10 gram of salt. So fortification of salt with iodine is carried out to reduce the iodine deficiency disorder, and the PFA Act has specified the iodine concentration at the source and the consumer ends. At the source level it is 30 parts per million and the consumer level it is 15 parts per million, and it is providing 150 milligram of iodine in 10 gram of salt. Next micromineral is copper. So copper is essential for RBC production, melanin production, that is a pigmentation, and for bone health. And the source includes protein foods like organ meats, shellfish, fish, nuts. It is also present in dark, unsweetened chocolate, chickpeas, whole grains, etc. And the daily requirement of the copper is 900 microgram per day. Next micromineral is fluorine. It is normally present in the bones and teeth, and it is essential for the normal mineralization of bones and formation of the dental enamel. So deficiency of fluorine can lead to dental caries. A concentration of 0.5 to 0.8 milligram of fluorine per liter of water is considered as a safe limit in India. But in temperate climates where there is low intake of water, the optimal level of fluorine in drinking water is accepted as 1 milligram per liter. The deficiency of the fluoride amount, that is, if the fluoride amount is less, if it is less than 0.5 milligram per liter, which can lead to dental caries. And the excess amount of fluorine in water can lead to skeletal fluorosis. If the fluoride content is more than 2 to 3 parts per million in water, then it can lead to dental and skeletal fluorosis. Next micromineral is zinc. So zinc is primarily an intracellular substance, and largest source of zinc is present in the bones, and zinc forms a constituent of the blood. It helps in the production of DNA and proteins, and has an important role in healing damaged tissue, and it supports healthy immune system. And the main source of zinc includes meats, poultry, seafood, legumes, and whole grains. And daily requirement of zinc is 8 to 11 milligram per day. It is a cofactor for a number of zinc is a cofactor for a number of enzymes. So these are about the minerals. So we have dealt with the macrominerals and microminerals. Next we can see some of the important points that is usually asked in the nursing exams. First point, vitamin C increases absorption of iron by changing ferric form into ferrous form. So the iron is well absorbed in the ferrous form. So vitamin C increases the absorption of iron. Milk should never be administered with iron because it will interfere with the body's ability to absorb iron. Iron is better absorbed in ferrous form. And the maximum absorption of iron takes place in small intestine. It is usually asked in the nursing exams, that is the maximum absorption of iron takes place in small intestine. And the main extracellular cation is sodium, and the main intracellular cation is potassium. Next point, the mineral which is found in highest concentration in the body is calcium. Mineral which is found in highest concentration in the body is calcium. Next point is zinc is required for several enzymes such as carboxypeptidase, liver alcohol dehydrogenase, and carbonic anhydrase. So it is a cofactor for a number of enzymes. We have already seen that the minimum level of iodization at production level is 30 parts per million, or at consumer level is 15 parts per million. Protein energy malnutrition occurs due to energy deficiency if a child consumes fewer than 130 grams of carbohydrate per day, which leads to a condition called marasmus. And the signs of marasmus includes severe wasting of muscle mass, sunken face and eyes, loss of weight, minimal subcutaneous fat, loss of tissue turgor, skin appears loose and sags, that is a monkey-like face, absence of pitting edema of the hands and feet. So monkey-like face can be seen in marasmus. In children, the disease which occurs due to protein deficiency is a kwashiorkor. And the main characteristic of the kwashiorkor is the flax sign. It is an alternate band of hyperpigmented and normally pigmented hair. So flax sign, it is usually seen in kwashiorkor. And other clinical signs includes lethargy, apathy, irritability, poor appetite, muscle wasting, which is hidden by edema. And the child will be having a moon-shaped face. Poor man's meat is known as the pulses. Poor man's meat is the pulses. Reference protein is the egg protein. And the safest method of sterilizing milk is pasteurization. Powerhouse of cell is mitochondria, which helps to control level of calcium in the cytoplasm. So powerhouse of cell is the mitochondria. Succinate dehydrogenase and glutamate hydrogenase are marker enzymes of mitochondria. Succinate dehydrogenase and glutamate hydrogenase are marker enzymes of mitochondria. Lysosomes are absent in RBC. Waste disposal system of the cell is the lysosomes. It is also known as suicide bags. Marker enzyme of lysosomes is acid phosphatase. What is unipode? That is movement of one type of molecules only in one direction. Sympode, when there are two types of molecules and they are moving in the same direction, it is known as sympode. Antipode, when the molecules are moved in opposite direction, then it is known as antipode. So unipode, that is a movement of only one type of molecules and it is moving only in one direction, it is called unipode. Sympode, the movement of the molecules in the same direction which contains two types of molecules. Antipode, the movement of molecules are in opposite direction. And the scale of pH measurement varies from 0 to 14. And below 7 it is acidic, and above 7 it is alkaline, and 7 it is neutral. And the active form of intracellular enzymes is cymase. Active form of intracellular enzymes is cymase. And the inactive form is known as a proenzyme or zymogen. Inactive form is known as the proenzyme or zymogen. Next is the nucleic acids. So nucleotides are the building blocks of nucleic acids. And two classes are there, deoxyribonucleic acid and ribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid or DNA and ribonucleic acid or RNA. And it consists of purine bases and pyrimidine bases. And purine bases includes adenine and guanine. Pyrimidine bases includes cytosine, uracil and thymine. Cytosine and uracil are present in RNA, and cytosine and thymine are found in DNA. So base pairing in DNA is guanine cytosine and adenine thymine. And in RNA it is guanine cytosine and adenine uracil. Next point is SGOT is raised in myocardial infarction, whereas SGPT is elevated in liver disorders. So SGOT is serum glutamic oxaloacetic transaminase or AST. And SGPT is serum glutamate pyruvate transaminase or ALT. So SGOT, we can see the rise level of SGOT in myocardial infarction, and SGPT elevation can be seen in liver disorders. Minerals which are needed for the formation of bones and teeth includes calcium, phosphorus and fluorine. Minerals which are necessary for maintaining water balance in the body is sodium, potassium and chlorine. Next point. Provitamin A is known as the carotenoid. So carotenoids are defined as a provitamin A. Black tongue is treated with vitamin B3, that is a niacin. So niacin deficiency can lead to black tongue. Pantothenic acid or vitamin B5 deficiency can lead to burning feet syndrome. Egg white injury factor is avidin and anti-egg white injury factor is biotin. So egg white injury factor is avidin and anti-egg white injury factor is biotin. Slipped tendon is caused due to deficiency of manganese. The diet which is prescribed in peptic ulcer is known as a CIPIS diet. Common name of glycogen is animal starch. So these are some of the important points that is usually asked in most of the nursing exams. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe it. I thank you for watching the video.